Cabanon is a French word that means cabin or hut or shed. And we took the name because Le Corbusier, who is the most famous architect on the 20th century and in the south of France, he built for himself a little wooden cabin, he called it Le Cabanon, where he wanted to experiment with the minimum cell for living. I'm Beatriz Ramo. Welcome to the Cabanon, our 74 square feet apartment in Rotterdam. My partner and I, we live in this building since 2006, and we never heard about this space here in the 7th floor. And then one day we found a note, like a handwritten note in the board in the entrance, and a neighbor was saying that he was selling this sort of storage space. So we called immediately, and then we discovered this space and we were fascinated because it was a storage space that had a huge window overlooking the city. And it had a toilet connection, and it had heating and electricity and warm water and cold water. In that moment, we didn't have a clue what we were gonna do with that. Normally, we are the architects of a project for somebody else. We took advantage that we were the clients in order to also take the assignment a bit more to the extreme, in a bit more radical way. I think it's very unique in the sense of the spatial experience that it offers. It has in itself 4 totally different rooms and 4 totally different spaces. So that was for me the surprise. Like such a small space could still be subdivided in 4, and each of them being a totally different world. It was meant to be our spa plus a guest room, and it developed into an apartment, probably the smallest apartment in the world. The process of the design of the Cabanon was actually pretty long. It was never a continuous process, so we always work whenever we had a bit of free time from our office projects. And we tested physical models, we tested in the computer, but by designing and testing, we realized the more we were subdividing the Cabanon, somehow the bigger it was getting, paradoxically. We work with 2 very talented workers. He is a very talented carpenter and metal worker, and she is an artist. They both live in a boat, so they are used to work with small surfaces. So every detail is meticulously done. You cannot allow yourself mistakes because they are gonna be visible. So they really understood exactly how the space needed to be executed. We were on a quite tight budget, so we really tried to optimize also the cost. When we bought the Cabanon, it was only 11,000 euros. When it comes to the construction, like the hours we paid, the carpenter and the materials, we also try to optimize that. And in total, it cost around 21,000 euros. We are now in the living room of the Cabanon. It's a space of 3 meters high. It has a huge window that makes the space much bigger than it is. And here we wanted to have a window bench where we like to read or to even have breakfast. And here in this wall is where we integrate all the storage, but also the kitchen. For example, here we have the table that opens up like this. And here we have the chairs. We have 2 because the Cabanon is thought for a couple. And we can take the pillows from here and we can have lunch or dinner, or you can work. We also have the storage for the clothes. We have the shelves, or we also have hangers. The shelves can be moved and stored, so we give a space for the hangers because some of us prefer to have the clothes in the shelves, and my mother, for example, likes to hang everything so it doesn't get wrinkled. And under here we have 2 big drawers for all the towels. The materials we chose for the living room. For the back wall, we wanted to have a tile that gives depth to the space, so we chose these Spanish tiles that create this three-dimensional effect. For the light, we were actually thinking a lot because we didn't want to have an element that will take a lot of space. So what we did is we designed this cube that the carpenter also realized, and is inspired in this hexagon pattern. So everything in the space gets its own coherence in terms of shape and in terms of color. It's a calm space, and we wanted all the furniture as much as possible to be already integrated in the space, so we would not have to buy extra furniture. There is no clutter, there is no hundreds of objects around, so everything is really minimal. So you get this sense of calm where everything is in order. So we are now in the bathroom. The bathroom is a space where we have the shower and the toilet. When we designed this space, we took into consideration two main dimensions: is our height for the showering, but also the width that we need in order to shower comfortably without hitting the elbows with the walls. We wanted everything, the floor, the ceiling, the walls and the door in the same material, because we want to reinforce all the time this idea of very rich spatial experience. The tiles are blue. Initially they were planned in whitish, like pearl color, but the carpenter found a very nice offer which cost us 1/10 of the price, and we decided to change in order to reduce the budget. And then also the other challenge was to find a suitable place for the ventilation and the place, the drain of the water. Here we have a rain shower in the ceiling because this is what my partner likes the most, but I prefer a normal shower that we take from here and then we can put here. What I like the most about this space is when you are inside and you close the door, you really feel in a space that you don't know where you enter from, because everything is tiled and covered in the same material. We are now in the spa room. This was our main objective when we designed the Cabanon. I wanted to have the infrared saunas and my partner wanted to have the whirlpool bathtub. The dimensions of this space is again made according to our height, so we don't have to bend down when we enter. The length of the space is given by the length of the bathtub, like a standard bathtub. And then the width actually is given by the mattress, which is just on top. Initially, the marble was supposed to be green, but we found out that the shop where we bought it had a leftover black marble since the 80s that they could not sell, and because it was very little surface, so we could get the black marble for the 1/10 of the price of the green marble. So when you are inside, you really have this enveloping feeling that you don't know also where you enter, and it feels like a vault, like if you are in a very safe, enclosed space. So we really made sure it is comfortable. Under this seat we have actually the meters for the water and a little storage. And under the other seat of the sauna we have the drawer that opens towards the living room. We are at the moment in the bedroom. The bedroom is dimensioned according to the height we need in order to enter comfortably and to sit down in the bed. And the width and the length is given by the mattress. And here on the right, we have 3 cupboards, which fit exactly with the space with the bathroom where the shower was. This is the main storage of the Cabanon. The first cupboard over there opens towards the bedroom and towards the living room because we always use this cupboard when we have guests and they unpack. We quickly ask them to put the suitcase on this cupboard so the space gets free of objects. And the color of the bedroom is green. It's the only color we chose ourselves because initially I would never have chosen a green color. But as the other rooms, the colors were somehow imposed by these irresistible offers of materials that we found, green turned to be the different color from the other three. The duvet was done by the wife of the carpenter, by Miriam. This furry material is the only thing she found that matches the color, which was also for us a bit surprising. But at the end, well, I remember my grandmother having a coat in the same fabric and we like it very much. What we were looking in this space is sort of creating a nook or a cocoon that feels nice and cozy. And what we wanted to do with the lights is, again, the lights will be built in, so there will not be three-dimensional objects appearing. And I always like these little lights that make a bit like constellations of stars. We like a lot how this space turned. It's really, again, one space within a bigger space. We find it is also very nice that it's open to the living room because like this you can always see outside or have a view with the daylight. The space feels already quite nice and cozy like this without the need of putting a curtain. It is very small, but I think we can extrapolate many things to make better and more affordable houses. Not in the sense of space, but in the sense of optimizing, like really trying to find the best and the maximum of every space. Where to position the different elements like the door, the radiator, the electricity plugs, the window, in order to maximize the possibility of storage, of positions for the furniture and so on. And sometimes a 9 square meter room where every element is intelligently thought and designed feels much bigger than a 15 square meter room where the architect didn't take care of the optimization of the space. Especially today where there is a housing crisis almost everywhere, it's very important to offer people very functional houses.